Oh, I think it was a kind of implanted in you, instilled in you rather, that you had to have a trade, whether it be barber, or carpenter, shoemaker, whatever. And I chose the barber shop because a very dear friend of the family was a barber. And I started to learn the trade. And when I say learn the trade, you clean the mirrors in the morning, you know. In those days they had cuspidors, you know, the nice brass ones. I was about 10, 11 years old. And we talk about music in a barber shop. If you didn't know how to play guitar or mandolin, you just didn't have a job in this particular shop. So we all played, you know, C chord, D chord. I was a pretty good barber. And for the bigness of my hands and stuff, I used to shave fairly light, you know, and the people I used to shave would tell you immediately if your hand was a little heavy, you know. But I shaved. Today shaves, you know, everybody shaves themselves. But in those days, most of our customers were shaved, you know. The straight razor, yes, which I've used for 20 years after I left the barber. I couldn't get used to it. I used to cut myself with a safety razor. It's true, because if you don't run a straight, if you go with a straight razor, you kind of shave this way. With a safety razor, you go down. See, so I used to go like that and take a hunk out here and there, you know. Nothing dramatic.
Pianist and arranger, graduate Juilliard School of Music, Como's conductor for the last 9 years. Practically a newcomer to the Como team compared with Ray Charles, singer, vocal arranger, choir master and general musical factotum with Como for the last 22 years.
Well, you don't pretend to be Perry. What you do is you try to give for the crew a simulation of the level that he will sing at. The movements that he'll feel comfortable doing. I think I've kind of understand them now. And it's really for setting up. Very often, I'll do the whole run-through and half the dress rehearsal. And he watches. He'll be in the studio watching, or be in the dressing room watching on a monitor. And he can get a sense of what's happening around him and behind him that he might not get if he was doing it. We were doing a show. I don't know how this happened. There was some music, though. Somebody was playing some aria from one of the operas, and Perry was standing there, and all of a sudden he starts singing this interior harmony part. And boom, 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 ba boom, ba dee da da dee, you know, something not melodic at all. I said, what's that? What are you doing? He said, that was my part on the euphonium.
I'll never forget it, because I paid for it. You know, we used to buy instruments in those days. $5 down and $2 a month or whatever. And when I say band, I'm talking about marching bands, you know, which I still get a kick out of because I look for my instrument, you know. But we had one of the members of our band who was started his own band, and he asked me to go out and do a job with him, and I says I would. And I left Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And it was the 15th of August. Probably means nothing to you, but to the Italian people, that was the big feast. You know, they'd have the fireworks and the parades, and we would serenade and all that stuff. So I had just gotten this beautiful, what they call euphonium. It has two bells, the baritone and the only one who would know what I'm talking about is a euphonium player, you know. But I left for 3 days. I came back just fractured. You know, you're parading all day and eating bad foods, which is, you know, when I say bad foods, I'm talking about a lot of sandwiches and things. Well, when I was a kid, didn't make any difference. Hot dogs. You know. But he came around a couple of weeks later to pay me off, and he put $26 on the table, see? And my dad was so upset. He said, $26 for 3 days' work? You lost close to $100 at the barbershop. It didn't add up to him, see? And and I had my own shop, incidentally, at that time. I was about 13, 14 years old. So without saying a word to me, he goes down and gets a big saw, and he cuts off the 2 bells. Of course, it destroyed me because I hadn't paid for the damn thing yet, you know. I was $2 a month, and here this guy, but he was so sweet. I remember him with very fond memories. He was a good man. And I couldn't really get mad at him, but I said, Pop, look what you're doing. You're destroying. And I think I paid $200 for the instrument. But he didn't care. He didn't want me to play anymore because he thought I was just too young to be running around. So he made wine funnels out of bells, which is kind of silly, you know. But he had the bells, and he'd kind of hold them in, so he'd transfer his wines from one barrel to another. And he got so wild, I couldn't get mad at him. And I think I'm still paying for it. No. Whoa, 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 whoa. You are the sunshine of